Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is El. I am the Game Over Man. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna make a very quick video today because Remedy has now announced that they are working on a remaster for the games Max Payne and Max Payne 2. Now, before we get into that, obviously, if you enjoy this video, you like topics like this, hit that subscribe button and the like button. Leave a comment down below about what you think is necessary for this game. Do you think what you'd like to see in these remasters well, remakes actually, and really what you're looking forward to and what you're hoping that they don't do with the Max Payne series going ahead. Let's get into the video though. I do want to make this a very quick one. Obviously, Remedy Games is a very big company. Well, big in the sense of they're making some great games. They've made Control, they've made Alan Wake, and they did the remaster recently for us as well for those games. They obviously are known as well for Max Payne and Max Payne 2, and those games, by the way, are incredibly amazing. There are certain things that I am concerned about, but the one thing that I am very happy with is the idea that they are bringing this game back. Obviously, in the same vein that they keep doing remasters or remakes of different games that people have loved over the years. The biggest concern for me is this. They're going to remake this game from, I believe, from the ground up. I could be wrong. And they have noted that it's years away from being completed. So it will not be on the PS4 era of systems. By that time, it should be ready for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S. Now, one of the biggest concerns that I do have with these ideas of remastering or remaking games are for things like the 13, that game XIII or 13. That game was very huge and successful back in the days, I believe it was the early 2000s, because of the way that it was made, the scheme that it had, but also for the cutscenes. And this is one of the things that I want to basically mention for this as well. The cutscenes in Max Payne are incredible. Now, obviously, 13 had these sort of comic style cutscenes as well, and when it was remastered or remade, that game changed those cutscenes and basically gave you more of a live action sequence of cutscenes, which took away some of the aesthetic from that game, and people were very unhappy when that came out, the way it was made, and that's one of the things that is concerning for the idea of remaking Max Payne and Max Payne 2. Now, if you are unaware, the way that the cutscenes were done, and I really love this, if you have not seen or played Max Payne, I would recommend that you play the game because those games are great, but also I would recommend that even if you don't want to play the game, then go to YouTube, check out anyone who has uploaded all of the first game's cutscenes, even the second game's cutscenes. The way that they were done, the way that they were scripted, recorded, even the audio behind it, everything in those games is incredible. Honestly, those cutscenes, it's like watching a movie, a comic book movie that isn't in the vein of MCU, obviously, but more of a graphic novel come to life, which is crazy and amazing. The aesthetics, the vocal, the voice acting in that as well for the Max Payne character. I don't remember what his name is, the guy that voiced him, but that guy, whoever voiced him, and they also used his likeness for Max Payne, by the way, that guy and those vocals, that voice acting is on point. It is perfectly set for a noir styled game. It was beautiful. The scripting of that game was wonderful. It really just, honestly, the very first thing that I would recommend is if you haven't seen those cutscenes, that you go back, take a look, have a check out of those cutscenes. It's honestly like watching a movie. So that's one of my bigger concerns with them remaking or remastering these games is, will they continue to stick with the comic book styling that they did in the originals, or will they change that up and go for a more live action sequence, much in the same vein that they did for Max Payne 3, which, while it was a good game, I feel like it lost a bit of that element it was just really incredible to watch those cutscenes. So that's one of the things that is concerning for me. The other thing that I would be concerned with, which I feel like they won't be doing this, but if they do go this route, the Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, the remastered edition, whatever that was called, there were a number of bumbles with that on the way, and they messed up a whole lot of stuff with that, to the point where, for some reason, dedicated fans were able to make better remasters of this game than a fully budgeted studio was able to do, because it seemed like it was a half effort, to be polite. And that's one of the things that I think is concerning for this idea. I feel like Remedy will not do a half effort. I think that they will actually put in the work and make this game as amazing as it should be. But the idea that these games will be remastered while they are years away, which gives them a lot of time to work on these remasters or remakes, there is a very big concern there that they might go the quick route and basically cut corners towards maybe the end of the cycle. I'm not saying that the beginning right now is where they would do that, but towards the end of that cycle, when they realize certain things haven't been done properly or aren't working the way that they want, that might be a route that they go down, and that is a concerning factor for it. I do believe that Remedy does really take care of their IPs and really takes care or loves those games, especially considering Max Payne, the very first one. That's a game that people, I think, just love. And if you haven't played that, again, I would recommend that you give it a try. But that is a game that has some serious oomph to it. It is so crazy. It's so wonderful. It's honestly this one of those games where once you're in, and you really want to finish and see what happens next. But if you haven't tried it, again, this is probably the third time I'm going to say this. I recommend that you try that game. Now, I still have the PC edition of that game, and this game will be coming out obviously to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and the PC. So Steam, I'm guessing, is where it's going to be. That'll be where I play it, just because it'll be basically a throwback to when I was younger, and that was where I played those games. It was crazy. I loved it, and I'm really excited that they are bringing this game back and that they are bringing it out. Obviously, the third one was still good. I was hoping, and I'm still hoping, that what happens with this is that they would bring a fourth one or a fifth one, or it doesn't even need to necessarily be Max Payne, by the way. Maybe the next, the evolution of this series is to go to one of his children or something like that. These are one of the things that I think could happen, and it could be like a nice bit of a handover to the next generation. But for right now, a couple years away or several years away, however long away this game is, I'm definitely excited for the idea that Max Payne and Max Payne 2 is going to be remade or remastered for these consoles. And I think that if you haven't tried it, and if you're younger especially, and you don't want to play the old style graphics and that sort of blocky sort of stuff, this definitely is something to look forward to. If you are keen to play these games, definitely try them out. If you want to, at the moment, I do believe on the PlayStation Network, I'm not sure about the Xbox, but on the PlayStation Network, I do believe that you can actually purchase that. So that's one of the things to look forward to. I am so keen, so keen. When hearing about this and looking at this, these are some of the games that they're just brilliant. Again, finally, if you haven't watched the cutscenes from Max Payne or Max Payne 2, go back, check them out, check it out on YouTube, have a good time, get some popcorn, because you will need it. You will obviously miss some of the dialogue that happens during the gameplay, but in the cutscenes, it's phenomenal. 100% it's phenomenal. That is my thought on this whole thing. I'm not going to waste your time, but if you do enjoy this, you want to see this, hit that like button. I'm very keen to see if you do enjoy this. There is, you know, the dislike button. Don't click. No, you can click that if you want. I have no problems with that. But let me know if you do click the dislike, why you dislike the idea of these games being remade or remastered in the comment section below. I love to hear different opinions on these titles. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't already. But for now, I'm gonna head out. Don't forget that it's
Game over, man. It's game over.
Court's adjourned.